Welcome back to some more battles. We are in the open Great League, and let's see if we can get some wins with this new team featuring the Cradily Golisopod and the Lapras. Right now, we have a Golisopod versus a Sableye. This is pretty much a loss for us for this matchup because the Sableye is really bulky. As you can see, still surviving, but we did get a shield, which is better than nothing. We decided to just tank the Dazzling Gleam and take the energy advantage towards the backline. But unfortunately, Pangoro here is a core breaker, and it looks like we are going to have to do the impossible and try to side wave down, but we decided to go and call a bait, and unfortunately they go for the close combat immediately. So GG's to our opponent. They just put a ton of pressure on us and unable to find a way to come back. Alright, we got the Cradily versus the Dunsparce. This matchup here is pretty interesting as they're gonna fire off this Duran. We're going to fire off our own Rock Tomb here. They're going to get debuffed, and as you can see, this drill run does less damage now. And then we're just going to make sure we throw this Rock Tomb on good timing. This Rock Tomb doesn't KO, but it double debuffs them. So we're just going to invest the shield and see if we can get a farm down. No farm down, and that is horrible. Let's see what they bring in. Wiggly in the back. Okay. At least we get the debuff. We force them to switch out into the Meryl. And this is kind of interesting as Meryl has to use a shield. They go for the Rock Slide. We are able to survive it. And we get to another Sparkling Aria. This is going to get that last shield. And unfortunately, this Meryl has the Rock Slide ready. And so we're just going to go into our Cradily, get the Grass Knot, and we sniped all that energy. So at this point, we have to make sure we get to multiple moves. Our opponent decides to go for the Swift to deal some good neutral damage. And at this point, we're trying our best to farm it down. And we do barely win the game with the one bullet seed. So GG's to our opponent. Very close game. Unfortunate that the Wiggly had so much bulk and almost took our Cradily at the end. We got a Primate to deal with here. We swap out into the Golisopod. We tank the first move. Looks like they were trying to chip and dip. We go for the X-Scissor versus this Cradily, and we did get a shield, so that's not horrible. The unfortunate thing is they're going to be able to get to these Rock Tombs, and they're just going to continue debuffing us. However, we do get to a third X-Scissor, potential KO here, and we do flip the switch, so that is really bad for our opponent. Not only did they lose the switch in, but they also have the switch timer kind of misaligned right now. They did get some energy, so that's a good advantage for them. We decided to catch this move onto our Cradily, and basically what we're trying to do here is force them to use a bunch of energy. We go for the Rock Tomb here in case they try to swap. Either way, it will get the shield or it's gonna get some damage. And unfortunately, we see the worst case scenario for this Lapras. Golisopod here without the Skull Bash is going to be very difficult to deal with. We only can get to one move, so we're going to go for this Ice Beam here, and it is not enough. So GG's to our opponent. Yeah, in hindsight, if we had just potentially just sacked the Lapras, maybe the Cradily would have been able to take out that Golisopod, but Golisopod pretty spammy as well. Okay, they switch into their own Cradily, which means we have the energy advantage if we don't lag. we get the first Rock Tomb to go off, which is the key. So now we take less damage. And all we have to do now is get to this next Rock Tomb. Let's see if they shield here. No shield. And they're just playing this out. So far, only Rock Tomb has been revealed, but then they go for the Grass Knot there. We go for the Grass Knot in case they want to swap out, and now we have Clockstar to deal with. We do have 2 Water Ties, so let's see if we can wiggle out of this situation. Nice catch by our opponent. They decide to swap into their Blastoise, but we do get to this X-Scissor, and ooh, they get a little bit greedy. We get to a 3rd X-Scissor, and we force the shield, so this is advantageous for us because we are going to force energy. They take out our Cradily, and now we have the Lapras, 2 shields versus 1 shield scenario. This is a very positive situation for us. We're just going to shield anything. The first move is the Sludge Bomb, so now we know that we can survive the next move pretty much no matter what. Even Earthquake will not KO, and they finally use their shield, and this is just a farm down. There's a Sludge Bomb. They come back in here with the Blastoise. We shield here because we can just farm down at this point and then get to a move. So well played by us. The Blastoise catch almost cost the game, but luckily Golisopod very spammy and able to get to that very key 3rd X-Scissor. Okay, we got the Cradily versus the Talonflame. This is kind of interesting. They try to catch the move, but we were going to throw the Rock Tomb anyways. We get the debuff, and now our opponent has to think about shielding this next one here. Unfortunately, we do not want to see this Morpeko in the back, so we do get that shield, and our opponent here is trying to keep this alive. There's the Aura Wheel, and we do finally shield the correct move. We get the farm down that we need, and now this is just bad luck for our opponent. Golisopod, kind of a core breaker between the Superior and the Talonflame, because we do have these X-Scissors. The first X-Scissor doesn't quite KO, so they are going to be able to take us out because we're going to leave the last shield for the backline. We have 2 really good picks for that Talonflame, and this Superior is so low that we can just Psy-Wave down. And now we have the energy we need to win this game. Here is the first Sparkling Aria, and it does get that shield. We're going to combo play here right after they reveal that Incinerate, and down goes the Talonflame. So GG's to our opponent. Check out the team if you haven't already, and let us know if you enjoyed the video.